Sanibona nonke, and good morning colleagues and students. Welcome to our presentation entitled Sustaining Students' isiZulu Learning in the MBChB program. My name is Roshni Gokool and I am a lecturer in the African Languages discipline, and I teach isiZulu to the first year students at the medical school. Together with my team that comprises Serini Reddy, Yashlin, Odayar, and Fahima Moosa, we are delighted to share our work in progress project with you this morning. Our presentation outline includes an introduction and background to the isiZulu module at the Nelson Mandela School of Medicine, the rationale, purpose, and a brief literature review. This is then followed by describing relevant theoretical frameworks adopted in this study. We then present our exciting isiZulu website project, followed by preliminary feedback received from medical students who participated in the study. We then highlight some implications for practice, and we end with our concluding remarks and a way forward. Let me begin by providing some context on the isiZulu learning at the medical school and the study. Approximately 80% of residents in KwaZulu-Natal are first language isiZulu speakers. In line with our language policy, isiZulu is a mandatory module offered to all non-mother tongue students, including medical students. Moreover, proficiency in isiZulu is an essential communication skill required by healthcare professionals in training who service patients across KZN. Poor communication can lead to miscommunication with dangerous consequences, patient dissatisfaction, and delayed service delivery in a medical setting. Year 1 MBChB students enroll for a medical-specific year-long module, giving them the basic vocabulary and grammar needed to communicate with patients. The module does provide practical, essential skills to students. However, no progression is followed through the curriculum. Yet students are expected to be assessed during clinical hospital rotations. During the clinical years of study, students have forgotten some of the foundational skills in Year 1. The demands of the clinical year's syllabi prevent them from revising those skills. It is an ongoing challenge for students to conduct meaningful and engaging consultations with patients during the clinical years. Hence, the idea of creating an isiZulu language website paired with clinical skills content offers a practical and sustainable solution, especially with no face-to-face teaching during the clinical years and building on the year-long module completed in Year 1 program. Drawing on a blended learning framework proposed by Moosa and Rubio, this study aims to sustain isiZulu learning and foster autonomous learning through the MBChB program. Through a blended language learning approach, students can interact with the content everywhere. The content available through the e-learning platform can be continually updated and designed interactively over the 6-year program. For the advancement of teaching and learning of isiZulu within the health sciences curriculum, learning material should be based on principled, task-based language teaching and computer-assisted language learning theories to enhance students' isiZulu clinical communication skills. The content is based on the language and technological needs of the students. The website design is also based on 2 key principles of task-based language learning. That is, language learning should prepare students for real life or working life situations. The study also adopts the Calgary-Cambridge framework for successful doctor-patient interview. This framework will be explained in the next slide by Yashlin. Given the limited resources available and the non-continuity of isiZulu in the clinical years of the MBChB program, Serini, Fahima, and Yashlin, who are the medical students, are also part of the South African Medical Students Association, and I have collaborated to undertake this work in progress project. This website is still under development, and the content available describes phase 1 of the project. In the next slide, Yashlin provides a short video clip of the website.
This is the current Medical isiZulu course. When you enter the link, you are introduced with the front of a hospital, mimicking the front of a real hospital. We have a button that takes you to the reception. At the reception, we have Dr. Gokool, who is welcoming and greeting the students, as well as providing a quick description of what Nesi Bengu and the lift does. Nesi Bengu takes you to a refresher course, which is a quick revision on basic aspects of isiZulu that was done in year 1. We have these different aspects of the refresher course, as well as a button that goes to the lift and a button that returns back to the reception. Looking at the greetings and identification, we follow a basic design of having a translation, both isiZulu and English, a image, as well as an audio file. Same applies here. Image, isiZulu translation, audio file, and if you hover over this box, you'll see the isiZulu English translation. Looking at the activity, each aspect of the refresher course has an activity. For example, this is a dialogue between the computer and the user, where the computer and the user can have a isiZulu dialogue regards to greeting and identification. Going back to the refresher course, looking at the next aspect, history taking. Here we have different tabs with regards to history taking, starting from personal details to closing the session. Each tab is adopted from the Calgary-Cambridge system of taking a history, which is a systematic approach in taking a history. Here we have the isiZulu translation, drop-down, an English translation, as well as an audio file. Same applies for all of the other tabs. We also have an activity accompanying it, which includes multiple choice, matching, as well as translation. Each of these activities can be checked and the correct answer is provided. Returning to the refresher course, looking at the next aspect, examination and investigation. Here we have an image. Once hovering over it, we see an isiZulu translation, English translation, a audio file accompanying it. Clicking on the second dot will give us an explanation to the isiZulu translation. We also have a activity accompanying it. This activity is a memory game where you have to match the correct isiZulu with the correct English translation. Going back to the refresher course, the feedback and communication has the same design and same aspect to examination and investigation with a different activity. This activity gives the English translation where the user will then provide the isiZulu translation. Looking at the next aspect, basic vocab on body parts. Basic vocab on body parts contains an image with the body part, the isiZulu plural and singular translation, English translation, an audio file, as well as an activity. This activity is a crossword puzzle. Going back to the refresher course, looking at the last aspect, which is basic vocab on common conditions. This follows the same design as basic vocab of body parts with a different activity. This activity is a word search with different difficulties. Once you are done with the refresher course, you have the ability to go to the lift. The lift basically takes you to the different years. Each year, for example, year 2 has different themes. In this floor plan layout, we see the different themes of the year. Clicking on a theme will take you to a page that contains the relevant isiZulu regarding this theme. We also have a drop-down section for quick access, and clicking on the logo takes you back to the home page.
As mentioned earlier, a needs analysis was conducted to determine the students' language and technological needs. All students who completed the Year 1 isiZulu module were invited to participate in the study and complete an online questionnaire. From the questionnaire, these are a few comments we extracted relating to Part 1. For the students' language and technological needs, one of our students mentioned it seems tailored to the needs of medical students, very well thought out, including a hospital setting to make it seem familiar. In terms of Part 2, which related to the website design features, Respondent 1 mentioned the layout made it really easy to interact with everything and learn whilst exploring the hospital. Respondent 2 mentioned, I liked that it included different sections for all the systems that will be done in 2nd and 3rd year, and that it will have content from 1st to 6th year. Respondent 3 mentioned the well-chosen layout, beautiful graphics, and the high level of interaction, very well done. The following implication for practice include the following. Firstly, feedback received from students will assist us in ascertaining the feasibility of the website, and through an iterative process, the necessary adjustments can be implemented. Secondly, institutional support and collaboration with the College of Health Sciences and other relevant stakeholders are essential for the success of this project. Thirdly, additional funding is also required for the sustainability of the website throughout the 6-year program. And then finally, the maintenance of the website is another implication to consider. In conclusion, we would like to say that this is a unique project initiated by the UKZN medical students for the students. It is a much needed resource to improve clinical communication skills, an essential core competency requirement by the Health Professionals Council for South Africa. Further learning material development for years 3 to 6 is also required. This was mentioned by one of the respondents. May we have audio for the C's during initiating the session, that is confidentiality, consent, comfort, etc., to suit the taught Calgary-Cambridge method. Finally, we would like to thank the following people or stakeholders. Firstly, the UTLO for their financial support, the MBChB students who participated in the study, our clinicians from medical school, Dr. Margie Matthews and Dr. Ntando, our administrators from the medical school, Mr. Wandile Mbanjwa and Mrs. Nonhlanhla Mabasu. And to end off, here are some students' voices regarding the website. The website you guys have created is amazing. Well done. This website blew me off my feet. MBChB came back with very positive comments this afternoon. Super well done. Siyabonga and thank you.